And I bet if you evaluate their life and their existence and what they've created, you're going to find out that it's not anything like what you're trying to build. That's the first thing. So realize that most people say that being competitive is unhealthy. Most people say that being driven is unhealthy. Most people say that being obsessed with building something is unhealthy. Most people say that doing anything outside being a lazy piece of fucking shit is unhealthy, when in reality, being a lazy piece of fucking shit is the most unhealthy thing that you could ever fucking do. A lot of you guys are mistakenly falling into this victim culture, bro. You have to be very aware of it. You're falling into the vibe out culture, the be happy now culture. You're not understanding, bro, that in 10 years, you're going to wish that you had this time back and you had committed your youth to actually building something, a foundation that you could stand on for the rest of your life. It becomes an obligation the minute you hear these fucking words. The minute you say, like, bro, fuck, you know what? My brother, my sister, my dad, my mom, my uncle, my fucking neighbors, the people at work, they're all watching me all the time. So when you start to live a fucking good life and you start to become what it is that you're supposed to become, other people start to see, hey, I might be able to do that too. It's something that people witness and then they want to do themselves. And that's on us as individuals to do in our own little circles, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, wherever the fuck you may be, wherever I may be, because all those little ripple effects go out and create a better world. You deciding that you have an obligation to become the best version of yourself and then doing that, and then other people witnessing that and them deciding, well, I can do the same thing, and then them getting better. This is how the world fixes itself, dude. And if you do that for 1 year, you will become someone who is so much better than literally everyone else that you fucking know at what I'm talking about, which is the adherence of following through. It accounts for less than half of your year and being resilient, being gritty, being tough, being confident. It will change everything in your life for 1 year. And anybody who tells you fucking different hasn't built anything or is profiting from telling you different. I guarantee you that.
I love that. Can I follow up with this real quick, Andy? When does this cross over, this pursuit of greatness, this obsessive desire and drive to win? For who does this cross over, and when does this cross over to become an obligation?
I think we all have an obligation to live at our highest standard. I think when we look around at the world and we look at what's going on and we see people suffering and we see people struggling and we see people deciding to opt out, right? Because that's a whole nother thing. Like, bro, I have a lot of people in my life over the years who I really wanted the best for. And at the time, you know, they weren't on the same vibe. And by the way, it went the opposite way too, bro. Remember, I was a fat fucking lazy piece of shit for a long time. There was a lot of people who tried to get me to wake the fuck up that I hated. And then, you know, but I wasn't ready to do it. And so, you know, there's timing involved in all of these things. But I truly believe that we do have a responsibility to hold the people that we care about most to a higher standard after we're holding ourselves to the highest possible standard. Most of you listening are going to become an amazing contributing entrepreneur, and you're going to make a ton of money and have a fuckload of fun working inside an organization that you help build. That's going to be most of your path. And by the way, it's a much easier path. 3 skills that will help you become an amazing entrepreneur. Something I've been saying a lot lately, which is the fucking truth, bro, is no one is going to give a fuck about your words until your actions and your results are undeniable. The words come after the results, not before the results. And if you try to put them before the results, nobody's going to listen. So you have to understand this. Your words are only relevant if your actions and your results are aligned with the words that you speak. Then people will listen. Without the actions and results part, the edifying part of the puzzle, you cannot be credible. People will not listen to you. It accounts for less than half of your year. The second thing that I would do, the second skill set that I would pour myself into if I were going to become a high-earning entrepreneur is sales. And the reason why sales, because sales, people who can sell get paid the most money. So you must understand the sales process for you to be effective at what you do. Because, dumbass, your graphic designs are going to contribute to us selling shit. So learning how to sell, massive skill set. The best way to learn how to sell is to go get a retail job. Go get a fucking retail job and work the floor of a retail job for 6-7 months, maybe a year. So, there's timing involved in all of these things, but I truly believe that we do have a responsibility to hold the people that we care about most to a higher standard after we're holding ourselves to the highest possible standard. So the first step is take care of your own shit. I actually posted about this morning. If you are not living your highest standard and you're talking to someone about higher standards, how do they believe that it's even possible if you're not even living it? That's why it's important for you to do all the work that you need to do on you so that they can see that you went from the same as them to this new thing. We have to inspire people by our own actions and results. So when you start to live a fucking good life and you start to become what it is that you're supposed to become, other people start to see, hey, I might be able to do that too. And when they start to see that, they change. And this is actually what fixes the world. Personal excellence is ultimate rebellion because it spreads. The second thing that I would do, the second skill set that I would pour myself into if I were going to become a high-earning entrepreneur is sales. And the reason why sales is because sales, people who can sell get paid the most money. And even if you're not going to be a professional salesperson, and let's say you're going to be a graphic designer, or let's say you're going to be a videographer, or let's say you're going to help make content, or let's say you're going to do something else in the company. It all comes down to sales. So you must understand the sales process for you to be effective at what you do. So like if you can't translate the sales process in your mind to the graphic or the video or the content that you create, you are literally fucking worthless. The first one, none of you are going to be shocked, is mental toughness. All right. The biggest problem that most people have is that they do not lack the discipline to follow through on the plan that they set for themselves. All right. 99.9% of failures in life come from your inability to adhere to what you say you're going to do. All right. So we must fix that. If you can fix that, if you can fix the problem with yourself, that you cannot follow the plan that you lay out for yourself and actually transform yourself into someone who can execute the plan, not only on the days they feel like it, but especially good on the days they don't feel like it, that makes you an unstoppable force. There's nothing that can stop you. All right. So mental toughness, which encompasses the qualities of many, many different things. One, okay. Fortitude, belief, self-esteem, confidence, the ability to endure pain, the ability to suffer, the ability to do things when you don't feel like doing them. These things all make up what I call mental toughness. Okay. And this is the fucking main driving skill set for any successful person, simply because it allows them to adhere to a game plan that they set out for themselves. And I would play that vision in my head over and over and over again. Like every day I had a fucking white Lamborghini. And I went down to Barnes and Noble and I bought all the like luxury lifestyle magazines and I cut out all the pictures of the shit that I wanted or that represented my life, what I thought was success was at the time. Not everybody's going to be fucking, whoever else. Like I think if people spent more time really truly learning who they actually are and being comfortable, like being that, they would find a lot more fulfillment and success in their life. Yeah. And I think this social media makes it real hard. I was just talking to Emily about this yesterday of how mean kids were to me growing up. And then I said to her, cause like, dude, I was like very heavily bullied for a long time. And I said to her, I'm like, fuck, dude, like imagine being a kid today.
Yeah.
Like imagine the pressure on these young people today with social media.
And it's not just from the people you go to school with.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine it. In a lot of ways, I'm like, fuck, these kids are like soft. But then in other ways, I'm like, fuck, they got to deal with a lot of shit that we didn't have to deal with.
Yep.
And I do not envy that.
Yeah.
Because bro, their business, their every breakup, every fucking drama, it's all through social media now. And it's like, dude, I can't imagine what that's like. It's got to be real bad for these kids. I personally think social media is a total negative on society. I think it's a total negative. I think the negatives outweigh the goods. We take away all the business. Like people say, oh yeah, Andy, you do well with social media and you make business. I don't care. I give it all away to not have it. If we turn social media off and it went away forever, I'd be perfectly fine. I don't care if it cost me, you're 15 years old. Your friends, looking at how they're winning or how they're doing things, that's a good thing for you. Measure yourself against them, but do not lose yourself and your unique gifts in trying to be like them. Be you. Now, it's just like, dude, when you see someone on an athletic field, the dude's running a 4.5 40, you could probably learn how to be a little faster by watching him do his fucking his warm-ups and his routine and his side work and all these things. But you may never run a 4.5 40, bro. Maybe you go from a 5.0 to a 4.8. That's a fucking massive difference, by the way.
Yep.
But, not everybody can be LeBron James, dude. Not everybody's going to be Michael Jordan. Not everybody's going to be fucking, whoever else. Like, I think if people spent more time really truly learning who they actually are and being comfortable, like being that, they would find a lot more fulfillment and success in their life. Yeah. And I think this social media makes it real hard. I was just talking to Emily about this yesterday of how mean kids were to me growing up. And then I said to her, because like, dude, I was like very heavily bullied for a long time. And I said to her, I'm like, fuck, dude, like imagine being a kid today.
Yeah.
Like imagine the pressure on these young people today with social media.
And it's not just from the people you go to school
with.
Yeah.
Bro, I couldn't even imagine it. They had a rug laid out, got in there, white leather, black carpet, deep dark wood cabinets. Like this is the vision I painted for myself over and over and over again. And the reason I've got my eyes closed right now is because I'm trying to like repeat to you what I'm seeing because I played this in my head so long. And then the other one was where I was on stage and people were just cheering for me. I didn't really know why they were cheering, but they were cheering. And I would paint that at the end of that vision. And I would play that vision in my head over and over and over again, like every day. And I did it every day. Like I didn't fucking not commit. I didn't try it for a week. I didn't try it for a fucking month. I just fucking said, this is part of my routine now. And so then I started like reading more about the law of attraction. Like I got more interested in it. And I started getting into like the quantum physics behind it and the metaphysical theories behind it. And I started really reading in depth about some of the experiments they have done regarding how it works. And so I decided to commit to a little more of it. Okay. The purpose of a business is to solve a fucking problem of a customer, and money is the byproduct. Do a great job at being you, and people will resonate, and the other shit that you're trying to get will come. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that level of fucking fame. That's not what the fuck I want. If you notice, I do the minimum in terms of social media to fly under the fucking radar. I don't try very hard. And the reason I don't try very hard is because it ain't that cool for everybody to know all your shit. You're 15 years old. Your friends, looking at how they're winning or how they're doing things, that's a good thing for you. Measure yourself against them, but do not lose yourself and your unique gifts in trying to be like them. Be you. Now, it's just like, dude, when you see someone on an athletic field, the dude's running a 4.5 40, the only reason I sound somewhat smart sometimes, and the only reason I'm able to predict things ahead of time is because I spent the last 24 fucking years running a business, anticipating what I think is going to happen. And I supply those skills over here. But when I started out on day one, I didn't have those skills. So people interpret intelligence as experience. And if you did what I did for 24 years, you'd have the ability to see around a corner as well.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Yeah, man. And like, dude, that's the secret for all of you guys. Like, all of you guys have to understand that the things that you admire in most other people are just the result of the experience that they persevered through. It's not something that they were born with. It's something that they earned through willing to go before they had the skills to even go.
Yeah.
And that's people.
If there's any secret, that's it. If you want those skills, you got to go do that.
Visualize every day about where you want to be and make it a fucking point. Surround yourself with a vision board that you could see at your desk or see at home. Consistently look at yourself when you see this vision board and see yourself living this life in as much detail as you can. Like, when you're visualizing at night, you should be trying to smell, you should be trying to feel, you should be trying to make it as real as fucking possible. You have to make sure that you understand that this is a skill set, because when you first start doing it, you're not going to be great at it. It takes practice. So just because the first 3 or 4 days or the first week is a little bit hard, keep going. And if we're going to put the tinfoil hat on, I believe that all the powers that be understand that this is the truth about humans. And so then I started like reading more about the law of attraction. Like I got more interested in it, and I started getting into like the quantum physics behind it and the metaphysical theories behind it. And I started really reading in depth about some of the experiments they have done regarding how it works. And so I decided to commit to a little more of it. And so then I made a vision board. Right? A vision board is basically a board. And I went down to Barnes and Noble and I bought all the like luxury lifestyle magazines and I cut out all the pictures of the shit that I wanted or that represented my life, what I thought was success was at the time. And I put them on this board. And that was 2006, bro. And by 2011, I was flying private. I had a fucking white Lamborghini. Okay. That gives you a massive advantage over everybody these days.
Yeah. But 3 attributes, I think resiliency, right? You have to be resilient, like resiliency mixed with optimism, like getting up and getting punched in the face every fucking day and doing it again tomorrow. Work ethic, which is kind of what I was talking about like being able to go the extra mile and however you want to look at it, sacrifice or make the investment in your business and in your future. And back to that ability to learn. Like you really are limited by your capacity in which you can learn. And so like right now I hang out or I seek mentorship and guidance from people like you and guys that are worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars. And so I got this idea that I wanted to buy a building and give these people a place to go for longer term care. And that was the birth of my first legitimate business in sobriety. With a little bit of help from my dad and some money I put together, I bought in October 2008. I bought, and this is, I'm a 23-year-old kid, and this is like when the world's falling apart with the economy.
Yeah,
we bought.
I remember.
Yeah, I know you do. And I bought a 3-family home in a town called Derry, New Hampshire, from the bank. They had foreclosed on it, and I bought it for 150 grand and got a bunch of furniture donated and moved into it. And started what ended up being the state of New Hampshire's first sober living house. I gotta tell you, in 2017, I relapsed on pain meds. I've been an undercover informant for the DEA for the last 2 fucking years. And the DEA told Secret Service that I work here and I was in the building. And the national headline was Mike Pence's visit to New Hampshire canceled to avoid meeting drug dealer. I own a drug rehabilitation business. And, I picked up the phone and then I got bored and miserable. And I was like, I got to get back in the game. Yeah. And so I've launched another addiction treatment business.
Like people don't give you the grace.
Double standard.
And it gets worse.
Yeah.
The bigger you get, it gets worse. And that's
so from the second your eyes open until they close.
Right. Most people look at their day as, okay, I'm going to spend 7 hours at work. I'm going to spend 3 hours with the family. I'm going to spend 1 hour working out. And so when I say, I gave it all, they think, well, he gave it all during those 7 hours. No, motherfucker. I mean, all the time, from the time my eyes are open to the time you go to sleep.
That was some of it, which was this small town, too big of a fish in too small of a pond. I outgrew it.
I think this is why the get rich quick. Cause like, dude, the value of your journey of being a successful human being in business is not in the fucking paycheck. And I'm not saying that in some, metaphorical sunshine and rainbows way. I'm saying everything that's going to be truly valuable to you is going to be acquired through that suffering over the course of time. The skills, the emotional intelligence, the ability to acclimate to stress, the ability to handle bigger and bigger and bigger problems. Those things you cannot jump from your mom's basement to billionaire penthouse status. We'll fucking die for this shit. This is no bullshit. Like, bro, if we don't save our fucking country from these fucking tyrants long term, I'm not talking about rushing the White House. I'm not talking about any of this crazy shit. I'm saying if we don't get organized, we don't create a fucking actual movement, we don't remove ourselves from their fucking corrupt system that fucks us all, we are fucked as humans. And your kids, they will die.
You have to acclimate to each level.
The skills, the emotional intelligence, the ability to acclimate to stress, the ability to handle bigger and bigger and bigger problems. Those things you cannot jump from your mom's basement to billionaire penthouse status. I think this This is why the get rich quick. Cause like, dude, the value of your journey of being a successful human being in business is not in the fucking paycheck. It really is. I'm saying everything that's going to be truly valuable to you is going to be acquired through that suffering over the course of time. But the truth is, I'm fucking 43 right now, and I feel like I'm just getting started. So it's honestly like, it's disappointing. Yeah. Like, it's disappointing because like my whole identity of what like I thought America was and who the people are is being destroyed and diluted in my own mind, because I look around, I'm like, motherfucker, we're supposed to be bad fucking motherfuckers. And it's disappointing. Like, it's like,
and if you're look around, here's the crazy thing. If you're a bad motherfucker, you get villainized. Put a fucking target on your back. Yeah.
So, dude, trust me, like, it's fucking frustrating for me. But dude, personal excellence is the answer. Personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion that keeps these people from fucking fully gaining everything. And so you guys who are fucking fat and you're broke and you're fucking consuming IG all day and you're fucking binge watching every motherfucking show, bro.
It's the system is fucking broken.
No, bro, our people are broke.
Yeah.
Our people are broke. And I don't mean financially. I mean culturally and fucking spiritually and fucking personal pride. Like, how the fuck can you, how the fuck can you be okay? Like, bro, how can any of us be okay with paying more of our money to the government than we get to keep ourselves? Because that's what we do. People think, oh, my income tax, it's 30%. You know, I get to keep 70%. The fuck you do. You fucking pay that shit.
That's the thing that's indoctrinating them into being.
But we need a fucking real revolution. And that's real shit. And you got motherfuckers talking about, you know, like, and dude, by the way, when I say revolution, I mean fucking cultural revolution. You want to know the ultimate skill, dude? The ultimate skill is to be able to learn the new shit that people need to know right now. And then also to do enough information absorption and understand that it's an investment in your time and it's worth your time and money to do so. And so like, I think that's a highly underrated topic that people don't talk about, how to value the information.
Self-education. Like, we didn't invent this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you guys understand, like, all the principles and the lessons and the teachings and all the stuff that we have that we've implemented in our life that has made us millions of dollars.
And I'm telling you, most people think that.
It's through the relentless pursuit of information, through books, podcasts, YouTube, Google searches, mentorship, asking people questions, getting in the right rooms, showing up to the conference, like just showing the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm having all this meaningless conversation, but it's that one moment. It's this constant thing of like this unlock. It unlocks this thing in my mind with this new piece of information, this new perspective, this new angle that I'm able to look at my problems through.
Talked with Gary Vee about this, bro.
I think it's a mix. Psychology will say like there's a mix, right? Like your genetics loads the gun, but your environment pulls the trigger, right? So I do think that like the entrepreneurial drive, I think it's innate in a lot more people. And it's evident if you look throughout history, right? Like there was a point in this country where the vast majority of Americans were entrepreneurs. Right. And I think it's just been bled out over time. And as the environment became less fruitful for that to happen, and then you put in all the victimhood and you put in all the, like, it drives it out. But I mean, I think a lot of people, it's definitely innate. It's just whether or not the environment allows it to flourish.
Yeah. I might be at this conference for 3 days and it feels like a waste of time and the hotel sucks and I'm having all this meaningless conversation, but it's that one moment. It unlocks this thing in my mind with this new piece of information, this new perspective, this new angle that I'm able to look at my problems through. It's through the relentless pursuit of information, through books, podcasts, YouTube, Google searches, mentorship, asking people questions, getting in the right rooms, showing up to the conference. Like, that really describes $0 trying to save 50 grand to buy a building to 55 million in top line revenue, 325 employees, and $115 million exit.
Nobody's coming to fix it.
You're it, bitch.
It is you. It's every single person listening to the show.
And it's you to the fucking, to the micro context of how you live your life in a fucking day to day and what you fucking do and your habits, rituals, and fucking routines and your goals and your vision and your objectives. Like, people don't take it from the macro context of how fucked up this is to what you fucking did today and the impact that you fucking made today, because it's the accumulation of all the fucking people, right? The drug epidemic, the addiction epidemic in America happens right under the noses of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You go out in the world, and if you don't know what you're looking for, the signs and symptoms of addiction, then you just won't see it. But if you do, you move through the day and like, you're like, holy, like I see so many addicted people all day long, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And they're driving nice cars, pumping the gas, sitting at the restaurant. I see them eating with their kids and their wife. And I'm like, that wife has no idea that he's got a dope habit.
Yeah.
I can see it a mile away because I know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? But most people fucking don't.
They don't understand that the pain that you actually experience by doing the difficult things actually is what brings out the best shit inside of you. I cannot be my ultimate creative self unless my back is on the wall.
Yep.
And that's why I talk so much about cultivating zero option mentality.
Yep.
You have to cultivate that mentality of not having any options, even when things are good. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to keep that the entire time.
Yep.
But now a lot of you guys are going to learn it by default because you're going to get pushed up against the wall, and we're going to find out who actually can respond under pressure and who doesn't.
Got high on, I got high on opiates for the first time
at 14.
6 months later, I was an IV heroin addict.
Fuck.
And so I was 15 years old, strung out on dope, selling drugs, dropped out of high school, was hanging with grown-ass men doing grown-ass things. Do you know what also falls in the same line of that? Is the fact that both you and I lived and worked and grinded and hustled through 08, 09.
Yeah.
Through that recession.
Huge deal.
And so
huge deal right now.
Huge, because of everything that is happening now and what's to come.
Yeah. I just did a story on this on fucking IG yesterday, bro.
Oh, did you?
I was talking about, like, look, the real people who have been through this shit already. Like, I could tell you this, I'm fucking salivating. I'm like, holy fuck, bro. I'm like, all these other motherfuckers that compete with me are going to get fucking destroyed. Yes. Saying everything that's going to be truly valuable to you is going to be acquired through that suffering over the course of time. The skills, the emotional intelligence, the ability to acclimate to stress, the ability to handle bigger and bigger and bigger problems. Those things you cannot jump from your mom's basement to billionaire penthouse status like the 21-year-old fucking entrepreneur guru will try to have you believe. Those people, and if they have that money that they say they have, they will fucking not have it for very long. Yep. So,
my entire 20s, I got sober almost 22 years old. My entire 20s, I never went to a nightclub. I never went out. I just lived in a very unorthodox manner, which at the time, I love the stuff you talk about. I started my business before MySpace.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Instagram. There was none
I think
of
that gives
stuff.
you a massive advantage over everybody these days.
Yeah. But 3 attributes, I think: resiliency, right? You have to be resilient, resiliency mixed with optimism, getting up and getting punched in the face every fucking day and doing it again tomorrow. Yeah. It was cool for a little while, but on the 50th time that you're coming back from Live nightclub at 4 a.m. and waking up and what am I? It's just it's for love of the game.
Yeah.
It really is for love of the game. At this point, at this level, you hit a certain point where the money, I don't want to say it's meaningless because I don't want to get clipped and fucking be like, oh, you called money meaningless. But dude, when you have a boat, when you live where you want to live, eat where you want to eat, travel how you want to travel, and fucking essentially have access to absolutely anything that you want to fucking have, after that, there's nothing, you're not working for any results particularly. You got to have a purpose. It's got to be for a love of the game.